Hello everyone, I'm Something Wicked. Welcome to the Wicked Workshop. Today's video is going to be all about tabs, guys, all about the new campaign that I'm making. And it basically it's an extension to my Wicked Castle Siege. It's called High Seas Adventure. I uploaded a few maps. I had basically an alpha campaign up for about a week. Um, the ships are bad. I'm not going to say that I got any comments or anything because I didn't, but I'm just saying, guys, I'm a perfectionist. They started out really bad. They started out, like this. They started out as basically just like a single deck, with a cabin, some cannons. Some of the sails were pretty bad on like some of the other fort maps and things like that. But we're way past that now, guys. Uh, I basically rebuilt all of the ships. We're starting with a different base. I've I've made the war galleon bigger, basically first. Okay, I made the war galleon one bigger, so it's now 5 decks and a nose. The frigate is the old war galleon at 4 decks and a nose, and the merchantman is now 3 decks and a nose. So what you're looking at is you're looking at the war galleon, and the difference between the war galleon and the regular galleon is this one, the war galleon has all of the bottom deck doors open with cannon emplacements. Okay, in all of them. Up on the deck, you're going to have cannon emplacements as well, and some of the sail masts have mini cannon emplacements. Now, you're not going to find those in the campaign, but I included them just basically in the maps. So if you want to, download those individually, then you can and use them as you will. But this is basically what we're working with from now, basically starting from the campaign. And some of them, I'll show you some of the like for example, this is one of the ones that is on it's on the Nexus. I'm sorry, not the Nexus, on Mod.io now. Um, but it started out as just a horrible ship, and I made it into a privateer. Or privateer is basically the merchantman variant, whereas the regular merchantman is not going to have the bottom deck open. So that's kind of the difference. The merchantman is the cargo variant to the privateer. Basically, it's a pirate version of it. Pirates load as many guns as they can onto it. So they're going to take a merchantman and they're going to cut holes in the sides of the ship. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm sure that I read that they definitely modified them. Let's just put it that way. Now I'm starting to tap dance, but anyway, so they've got the different variants. The merchantman is the cargo variant to the privateer, just as the galleon and the war galleon. The galleon is the cargo variant to the war galleon. Okay, the frigate is going to have 4 decks and a nose. The merchantman variant is going to have 3 decks and a nose, like I said, and the galleon is going to have 5 decks and a nose. But here's one of the other maps that's in the campaign. This is basically the start of the inspiration to the rebuild, because I couldn't have this in some of the maps and then have your flat deck frigate at 4 decks long and things like that. So um, that's what I did. I rebuilt all of them. I'll kind of show you the Nar as well. Now the Nar is basically like a longboat, but I had to have something that would be able to compete with the war galleon. You know what I mean? It's like I can't have just a flat deck longboat. So I did a little bit of research. The Vikings had carves, they had longboats, they had nars, which were larger, like ocean faring vessels. So like I said, I made it to look like a giant longboat. Basically, that's what you're looking at for the largest rebel or the largest Viking variant. And then of course I've got longboats, and then I've got other smaller ones as well. But that's what you're going to get for the Viking content. I do want to show you a battle, so yeah, let's get down to that. We're at 4 minutes right now. That's fine. Okay. Got a few battles in already. Which one do we want to look at? Private Merchantman. I think I just did the Frigate Galleon. I think I need to, yeah, test that one. Okay, so we'll let everything load now. Guys, on all my campaigns and everything like that, I want you to place all of your units, and then before you start your actual battle, double tap on the tab key. That's going to reset all the summoners and everything. Um, Otherwise, they will bug. They'll have, infinite repeats, and it'll just sit there, and your game won't end. But what we're looking at for the Vikings, okay, in this particular In this particular one, they've got a frigate. Yep, and they're fighting a galleon, just a regular galleon. Like I mentioned, it's the cargo variant of the war galleon, so it doesn't have double rows of guns, but the frigate does in this particular battle. They captured one. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at all kinds of troops up on top and on bottom. And in the bottom, we've got our little summoning huts with some other turrets. Okay, all within the Wicked Castle Siege campaign. Up on top, we've got some decks. We've got some cannons, and while we're here, let me get into those. Okay, there's a little bit difference between you can use the regular vanilla cannons if you want to. Okay, and I'll show you. You can use them, line them up so that they're about even. Boom, they place, they're good to go. Okay, but what I did was I made some of these so that you could place them on other parts of the deck. Now the only difference is if they're not in one of the emplacements, then they basically have 360 movement. So, you know, they'll shoot your guys in the ass. You know what I mean? There's different things, but uh, recommend using the turrets. There you go. Just a quick disclaimer: trolls and minotaurs have plank advantage, so they don't have to ride on the decks. Just so you know, okay? But like I said, double tap that tab key so that it resets your game. And we've got a lot of troops, guys. We're looking at almost 100 for the Imperials, and we're looking over 100, almost 200 for the Rebels. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this battle's going to work. We're at 6 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Now check this out. How awesome is that? There's your loading screen promise that they never gave you. They never, Landfall, you never gave us a naval battle map. Why? Why? Believe me, it would have saved me many, many hours. That's okay, I love it. So yeah, I use trolls to clear the top decks. These are basically the champion trolls. I didn't tell anybody, but there's a champion troll for the rebels and there's a champion troll for the Imperials, and you'll see which ones. This is the one for the rebels. And I don't think I put a troll for the Imperials in any of the battles. I'll have to. Yeah, maybe the war galleon will have a troll in it for the Imperials. If you're wondering about these little braziers in here, I had to use those as well. If you look at the nav meshing, I couldn't have the troops trying to pass all the way through the cannon emplacements, and they would have to try to get to the planks. So if they were back there on that back, side rail, um, they'll try walking through the cannons, and I couldn't have them doing that. So that's why they're that way. And as you can see on the bottom rows, the little coconuts, they've got little burning coconuts in them. Okay, I couldn't do it for the top deck because of stacking reasons. But as you can see, all of our little rebels are running across our planks inside top deck and bottom. We sent some minotaurs down here to this bottom deck. As you can see, guys, I took quite a bit of effort. Now there's lots of pieces in here, so I didn't get everything perfect, but I tried to make it look as good as I possibly could, and as accurate as possible for ships anyway. All right, so they've pretty much taken both of the decks. Try not to use many summoners, but we do have some huts, some commands. Those are summoners right there. Those summon the sword and shield guys, and our Imperial commander has a summon. He summons the sword and shield guy as well. Okay, rebel. That's the rebel commander. He's kicking ass. Okay, now we all need to go to the front because that's where they are. Or, I'm sorry, to the rear. Front cabin of the deck. To get that guy. And you might be asking, you might be wondering, rather, why so many troops? Pardon me. Well, if you have a potato computer, you might not want to get this campaign because some of the battles, yeah, have 3, sometimes 400 troops, and they're pretty complex. I usually ran out of objects making the maps. I tried to keep the troops pretty basic, some of them more than others, your hero units and your more advanced units, giants, um, rebels, minotaur, like, or I'm sorry, not rebels, but the minotaurs, things like that. They're going to have quite a few, but you don't use very many of those, so that shouldn't be too bad. Those guys are coming. Those are multiple summoners too from my shaman. I think there's a shaman down here somewhere. Let's see if we can find him. Yep, there he is. There's the rebel shaman. He summons the spear guys who are multiple summoners. And like I said, when you got a lot of people, gravity even kind of tends to mess up on you. So just let them go full speed for a little while they deal with everything over here. Is that guy dead yet? Yep, he's dead, so he shouldn't summon too many more. But yeah, guys, there it is. Wicked Castle Siege, High Seas Adventure. In the process of being rebuilt right now. I still have a few battles to populate. I think I still have a few more maps to make. I know I have to rebuild the sloop. I'm going to add either the flute or the bark. Again, at a Sid Meier's game. For like a medium-sized ship. It's gonna still remain 2 decks, but it'll probably be about a third to scale. I'm thinking that probably the bark will be the the 3 deck and the flute will be the 4, but think of like a third the size of it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. I'll show you one quick last one that I redid that is worth mentioning. It's kind of a fun map. Um, Instead of rebuilding the little longboats that they give you, I just decided to try to kind of make some, and I used the little shields and everything out of the map maker. And yeah, I think you can fit 20. I think, yeah, that was the number that I got when I populated it. Here's the first battle. And yeah, I let you populate the other side, but give you kind of an example on how to do it. So if you're still watching this video by the end, you'll kind of have an idea about the first battle of it. I show you exactly, well, not exactly how you have to do it, but I'll show you a way to do it. And like I said, each one of those rows is 20. So yeah, that's a lot of troops. A lot of troops, 101 just on that side. So that's starting out your battle for you. And it's a pretty epic battle once you populate everything, guys. So, but that's about all that I've got for you guys. Again, this is the extension to my Wicked Castle Siege. It's going to be called High Seas Adventure. Once I finish all the maps, like I said, I still have a couple maps to make. I have a couple ships to make, and then of course now I have to repopulate all of them. Um, and then yeah, I'll have it out to you soon. But that's all that I've got for you guys. Look it out.